Well, good morning and welcome once again to Ed's Orchids. Now, I've been busy these last couple of days. Actually, what I've been doing is trying to get my greenhouse in some order. And what I have done, I've put all the plants in the orders where they should go, then I know where they are, and I'm not always looking for stuff. And I'm finished up, right? I've got half the greenhouse with absolutely nothing in, not a plant in sight. Still been working there on a few fans, but absolutely nothing. Got the bigger plants down there, which are the Agricum veitchii, and here I've got a couple of Paphiopedilums. What are they called? Coleogenes, Chelenosteles, Dendrochilums, Phalaenopsis again. Back there are Masdevallias, and here we've got all what's in spike or in bloom. Looks nice and colourful for a change. There we are. Lovely. That's even looking even better when they're all opening up now. Absolutely lovely. Well, there's not much to show you in this room today with all the Phalaenopsis, but there are some nice buds forming there. And what I really wanted to show you is, remember when I did a Rhinanthera philippinense that I thought we would never save because it had no roots on? Well, I've got it here, and that's it. The two bottom leaves don't look so good, but it looks okay on top. And what's nice about this one is that it started putting a nice root out there. So this looks like it's going to survive. That's Rhinanthera philippinense, a species. Then we've got this Agricum diderai, just coming up with a nice bud there. These are beautiful flowers on these, so I look forward to that blooming. So that should be in about, let's see, 5 or 6 weeks time. That should be in bloom now, and they're lovely. Agricum diderai. Another bulb here just opening. It's it's only sort of half open now, and it's Joshua Irwin Ginsberg. Beautiful when they open that, but they should have more than one bloom on it at a time. And I think when I do a bit of a talk later on, I mean, people keep asking me about the NPK of things and what do they mean, so I'll tell you all about that one, of what I know about it anyhow. And this is still going strong, this nice one here. And I'll tell you what I think I know that can make these Phalaenopsis have better spikes and more blooms. And this is one of the few the plants that I have indoors. I've got 6 on the windowsill here, and they're either Paphiopedilums or Phragmipediums, and I'm just going to see how they go on. Well, this is about the only new bloom I've got that's fully open, which is the Phragmipedium warsawixianum. Not easy to grow these, so I'm very pleased with this one. And I've had to stand it on another plant pot because the sepals are getting so long. I'll just show them here. And they're just a little tad over 18 inches long. We can see why I've had to stand them on another plant pot there. because they're coming out far, far below there. In fact, they're almost down at the other plant pot. So I'm quite pleased with that one. Phragmipedium warsawixianum. See if we can get a bit closer to the... There we are. And then we've got all the phalaenopsis across the top here. One or two cattleyas hanging up. One or two Lady Isabels hanging up there. But mainly they are all Phragmipediums. Right to the very end. But that's what I'm not here about. I'm here to give you a little talk on NPKs. So we'll get started. I'll just put the camera down on a tripod, and then I can use both hands. And I'm not waggling the camera all over the place. So we'll just put it on these plants here, I think. Right, we'll get on what I was talking about now, and that's the NPK, the nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium that you get in your orchid fertilisers. Now I use, as you all know, on the Phragmipediums, I use fish, blood and bone, and that's got an NPK of 393, which for want for a better thing, it's 3% nitrogen, 9% phosphorus and just 3% potassium. Now in nitrogen, which is used by the plant to promote vegetative growth, is often used far too much in my opinion. This will make the plant virtually outgrow its strength and become leggy and a little wispy. And if you use too low an amount of nitrogen, you will get the opposite effect, of course, which will be slow growth, and sometimes the leaves will be discoloured. Now fish, blood and bone, to my mind, is an ideal fertiliser, because all the ingredients in this fertiliser are natural and don't contain any chemicals. They're all made out of, let's put for a better word, from the slaughterhouses of animals and fish, where all the bits that they don't use are all ground up and made into a powder. Now phosphorus, which is the next one, which is 9% here, also promotes, are supposed to promote good blooming. But there's a bit of controversy about that occasionally. But it has another very welcome asset, and that is if you overdose with nitrogen, then phosphates reduces the effect on the nitrogen will have on the plants. So that's a good asset for using a little bit of nitrogen. Having said that though, I do believe that good growth, strong spikes and more bloom spike is the result of nitrogen, especially on, and this is what I was mentioning in the house, the phalaenopsis, where if you had a little more nitrogen when you're feeding the phalaenopsis, you'll get far better spikes, you'll get far better leaves, and you'll get far better blooms and more of them. Now potassium isn't directly responsible for growing any particular aspect of the plants, and if it's not added in specified quantities, then the well-being of the whole plant will be affected. Another thing against potassium is that with too much in the fertiliser, it can stop the roots assimilating calcium, which is the good thing, is it? Because as we all know, that calcium is one of the most beneficial elements to our orchids. It's totally immobile, whereas other elements can go from one plant to another plant, to the new growth, to the roots. Calcium, once it's been taken up by that particular plant, cannot pass it on to its new growth. So you have to have a little bit of nitrogen in your fertiliser. Well, that's just a brief summary of fish, blood and bone, which I use on my frags just twice a year, which is, as you know, is every 6 months. And I use this because it's always given me good growth and strong plants. And some say they couldn't use this fertiliser because of the smell it gives off. But, I mean, my smell's not perfect, but I've never found the products I use to be overpowering. Now, another very, very good fertiliser with a very good NPK is rain mix. And this also contains calcium and Epsom salts, magnesium. Another thing about the NPK of Epsom salts is nil, nil, nil. So you can't go wrong on using that much. And now, as you all know, the rain mix is has been derived from the MSU formula. The Massachusetts State University, I think it is, that they developed it, and it's been proved very, very, very good. I've also been asked many times how I keep my leaves so clean on the Phalaenopsis or on any other of the plants. Well, I don't clean them when they grow on the Phalaenopsis. They just grow that way, and they just grow naturally shiny and very clean. And you only need a dusting over it very, very occasionally. But if you want to make your plants look that little bit more respectable and a bit posher, then some of the older leaves which have become dull, I use a non-chemical product which every household has, and it is manufactured from simple things like vinegar and eggs, and it's what everybody has in their house, and it's I use salad cream or mayonnaise. Now if you just wipe a little bit of this onto your plant that you want to shine and then polish it off with a soft clean rag, you'll be surprising how clean they come. Now this is completely harmless to the plants because it's made out of natural products, but you should never use it on the underside of the leaves, which has all the stomata, and you can damage it, because if you put it under there, you'll block the stomatas up. Now, I can't tell you much more about anything today, only the weather's very nice. It's getting up to about 15, 16 degrees today, so we'll have no heat on in the greenhouse, and it's very welcome to see the spring at last arising. So the only thing I can do now is thank you very much for watching and listening to this video. It's a little bit different from what I normally do. So until the next time, thank you very much. Thanks to all my subscribers, and I'll see you later. Bye.